Howdy, and welcome to the Roundtable for Red Dirt D&D. I know.
Who was waiting for Kiri to burp? I was.
No, that didn't make it in the cut.
That didn't make it this time. I'm Michael Cross.
Connor Shenold.
Johnny Payne.
Kiri Esther.
Brooke Bullock.
And Ash King.
Yay!
I would like to say how
right.
it was always I am my name, and then it would go to the next person, and I am my name, and then it can, and I started just saying Johnny Payne, and now everyone's just saying their name.
Okay, Johnny,
We've
you're the
evolved.
trendsetter.
And
You're not the coolest kid at this table. I'm sorry.
I don't know. His
I-
shirt says differently.
And I am
Sorry,
too
it's
as
radio.
well known as Johnny Payne.
Yes.
Forthright.
I just think that you
From
think
here
that
on
you're
out,
cool.
Johnny's just going to be a symbol. The artist formerly known as Johnny Payne.
I'm the cool T-shirt formerly known as. This is
Speaking
my
of cool
ReaperCon
T-shirts, it's your
t-shirt.
ReaperCon shirt. You know,
Yeah.
with like the
Yes.
skull and the shield and the
Great.
sabers.
As many of you know, Reaper Minis
There's no
is
shield
a,
in that, Brooke. That is an anchor, my guy.
is a big fan.
Oh,
of
so it is. It's from an angle. I now see that what I thought was a shield is actually the bottom of the anchor in a skeletal pirate
It
hat.
reminds me of every time, like, so many times when people see my Mjolnir, like,
Yeah.
they're like, oh, I like that anchor.
No.
No.
Why are you wearing an upside-down cross?
That's a
talk about
point
that later.
too. Oh my gosh, the Greek mythology
Are we
people
here
we
to
go
talk
off.
about Fat Thor for Gods of War? Because I'm here for it.
I'm here for it.
Michael Cross is now
Body
experienced.
positive.
ReaperCon, Johnny. ReaperCon.
So
Michael Cross
ReaperCon
is
was
now
great.
experienced.
Reaper Minis, who most of you probably own some Reaper Minis because they're like affordable and great.
I own none because
They're
I don't
based
use
out
minis.
of Denton, Texas, and they
this
hold a
is a Reaper
convention.
Mini?
And I went and
Get
played
in.
lots of games, and it was fun. And
That's cool.
It blew me away my expectations. And then I talked to people who've been going there for a decade, and they're like, "Yeah, this is actually really low because COVID. People
Right.
are kind of scared to get out still, or they're unvaccinated or whatever." But they say usually there's twice as many everything, twice as many vendors, twice as many gaming tables, twice as many people running around. And it was really neat. It was once you got in, it was really well organized, very clear where your table was for the game that you had, and they have it's very interactive. Like you go to those cons and you see people with ribbons on their badges.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, how do you get those? Is that like some kind of like elite inside thing? And then I sat down and played a game and rolled my first crit, and someone handed me a crit.
Ribbon.
To put on my badge. And I was like, oh. And then I walked
The
around. and
tripping hazard ribbons.
yeah,
Yeah.
somebody walked up to me. I was wearing my Run D&D shirt, and somebody
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like, "Hey, cool shirt," and he hands me one that just said "cool" on it. And this was like, "Is this your? You said this is your first year?" Yeah. And they reach in their bag and pull out one that says "noob." And just like all these like cool ways.
So
to
they're
get-
like beads at Mardi Gras.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it was-
Let's say
That's not
Michael,
where I
Michael
went.
might
I
have
was
to edit.
thinking-
Michael might have to edit this one out, but apparently there's like a running joke about drow nipple pink.
Okay.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what
Where
that
did
means
that
either.
come? Where's that related to anything?
Like the color
Oh,
of the ribbon.
literally.
or-
So I have friends who've gone to ReaperCon for years, right?
Oh, yeah?
And apparently there's this joke about because. Of course, like Reaper, they make miniatures, but they also make paint.
Yeah.
Right.
And of course, they have like all of the skin tones and blah blah blah. So the joke is there's a specific paint for the color of drow nipples.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And
Yeah.
apparently there's a way. Apparently, I think like last year or maybe the year before that, they had it was a ribbon for drow nipple pink.
Funny.
Well, I need to
But
forget my
I think actually what we need to do is find out how to bring Red Dirt D&D to ReaperCon
100%. That
by the time
sounds
next year.
fantastic.
Right now, it's a little hard to be doing any of these cons because of COVID. It's just, but hopefully by next year everything will be back to normal. So hopefully,
Apparently, this was also
we'll
the year to go to Dragon Con because it was like
I saw
empty.
that. Yeah.
Really?
I was like, holy crap! I was seeing like TikToks from Dragon Con, and I've been to Dragon Con, and like that thing like packs out Atlanta wall to wall, and like you can walk down the hall.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how, because Gen Con this year is going hybrid. So, like, for example,
Yes,
Paizo
yes.
is not going to have a presence at Gen Con, but Paizo is doing a whole bunch of stuff online. Under the Gen Con banner
Yeah.
and stuff. And there's a couple of game organizations like that doing that, and then a lot of vendors are just going to, instead of showing, because the cool thing about it's similar with Dragon Con, similar up to Gen Con, is when you go buy a game, you're buying it from the people who made the game, not
Right,
just
right.
the local game store,
Which
And
support
so
your local
they're-
game
they're
store,
doing
but when you can buy it
sales.
when you can buy it straight from the person, that's
when you
awesome.
can buy it over MSRP direct from the person who made it.
Yeah.
You bet.
And a lot of times they'll
100%.
sign it. They'll sign it for you. Stuff.
Yeah.
It's neat. Yeah.
So let's talk about episodes 63 to 66 and how crazy that was. It started with us just face to face against Wiley and Serafina. and that one moment where we all have to decide what direction we're going to go with this
Yeah.
thing.
Do we keep the ruse?
Right.
Well, we hadn't established a ruse at that point. So, do we try a ruse?
That is the one thing that is in my notes about behind the scenes today is that it was Kiri, not Poppy, who seemed severely confused about what was going on.
I still don't know what's
And one of
going
the
on.
original
And I
plans,
don't know if it's like, I don't know, but the guys at the
It might have
table
been
were
just a
like,
weird combination of just like con brain. We were recording
Oh
the
my
day.
gosh,
we
that's
were
the other
recording
note.
the
Well,
day
some-
after.
Uncanny Comic Expo.
Uncanny.
Well,
so we
and
were punchy as
I
heck.
think a lot of it was, like, we've played a lot, but together at this point, but we've always played things very straightforward, and so the decisions that some of you made were very confusing to me in regards to the ruse. So that's why I didn't understand. Is this a ruse? Is this not a ruse?
This is exactly what Johnny and I were talking about before you got in. The problem is, and I know this is why
I
you
need
were
you to
confused.
wear a hat.
Right. Well, I know this is why you were confused, and probably maybe even why Ash was a little confused, and why other people were confused, because Gideon was playing chaotic. He was playing chaos.
Yeah.
Gideon is not chaos. Gideon is, if not law, he is straightforward. He is a Captain Kirk. He is straightforward. He's a Boy Scout. This is the way he's supposed to be. But
And then he became Captain Kirk after the transporter accident.
then he became evil Captain Kirk,
Hey,
For
Serafina.
the Terran Empire.
or
The
mirror.
Oh,
Captain
mirror,
Kirk.
Captain Kirk. Oh my
right, go
gosh,
on.
Terran Empire. Never stop. Must stay focused. Go.
Yeah, so that I think is where the confusion came from, is that Gideon was not playing by the rules that Gideon plays by. But I had made that choice because hopefully the idea is to confuse the enemy.
Well, I was also very confused.
Michael, your plan worked perfectly.
Exactly.
I just
That's-
didn't
that's-
like.
Confused.
Yeah.
I just didn't
I-
understand,
Yeah.
like, what. And then more so with Zonimus, like, at least Gideon's ruse was different enough from his normal personality that I could tell, oh, he's acting.
Right.
But with Zonimus, I can never tell.
That's Zonimus for 66 episodes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't understand the plan. And I feel like if Poppy had the message trip, the message spell, it would have been a lot more useful to her than it was for Makrin, who didn't use it at all.
At any point would have been a good idea.
I remember days leading up to this, though, we were like, yeah, we're going to go in and let's make them think we want
Right,
to join them.
right.
And then
Right.
that was like a great plan A, and then somewhere we talked ourselves out of it, it became a great plan B, and then it was just like, so one of two things are going to happen. We're going to get in, get out. If we get caught, we're going to pretend, oh, hey, thank goodness you're here.
Yeah.
We'd like to talk to
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
about your Cimarron and Savior.
Yeah.
And
About
join
your
up.
Taurus
And
extended
then that's why
warranty.
whenever
Hail
you, like,
to the
would-
fire
Hell to the
throne.
sunburn.
Sunburn throne.
So then whenever, I was like, why is she confused? What happened? What's confused her? This was the plan.
This was the plan. the
Because
entire time.
fighting them doesn't seem like we're joining them.
Well, I wonder if it is like I knew exactly what he was doing with the bar fight. That's
You're
your
not-
classic
You're
Western.
not fighting them.
you know.
You're
That wasn't a
establishing
fight.
dominance.
Exactly. It's
That
like the
wasn't a
prison
fight.
Amongst
fight.
their
That was
henchmen.
Am I
that was a-
confused because I'm a girl
That was
and I
a
just don't
releasing-
understand how your brains work?
That was a releasing your bladder contest.
Yes, it was.
That was
yes,
totally
it was.
a-
And what was the idea also
Konnor, you're
was to
right.
just cause again confusion,
Yeah.
chaos.
Yeah.
If you get and you know,
Because that's
the
what
whole
if we weren't there, someone else would have started a fight over cheating at cards.
right.
It's just what would have
And
happened.
all I
They
wanted
seem
actually
to be playing
I
fine.
I was actually hoping to start a fight about cheating at cards. I didn't expect it to happen that quickly. I figured we'd maybe get a little bit into the game, but
We had Makrin
right,
involved,
straight up,
so-
okay.
But so at that point in time, I thought, well, maybe I'll just like endear myself to Serafina by
Which was
making it
awesome.
seem like I'm going to try to stop this fight. This
Oh, I
isn't how
endeared
we
her.
behave. Like maybe she'll
we'll
think
talk
that
about
I'm
that.
on her side. But then she was disappointed that I stopped the fight, and it was. And so I just didn't know. We did get a nice sneak peek into Poppy's brain and how it works.
Which that was also tons of fun.
I was messaging Kiri like I can't remember if it was that night or if it was like the
Oh,
next...
it was on Tuesday because I was at lunch duty at work.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a couple days later because like it just kept eating at me, like just some of the things that like just in that little Poppy rant that had come out, and I was like, oh no. Like, speaking as like a non-binary person myself, I was like, oh no, that's like almost the exact same as my inner monologue sometimes.
Yeah.
So Poppy has ADHD like Kiri does, apparently, because that's also how Kiri's brain works.
That's also the feminine brain. So there's a bunch of wires
Oh, yeah.
just going from one. For us guys, it's simple. We have one box.
Yeah.
And we are in that box. That's the box. Now, if I got to go to another box, I can go to another box.
But I
I'm not
gotta
thinking
close
about
the first
that.
box.
I got to close it up, put it away, and then go to the next
Mr.
box.
Cross, I'm gonna have to call shenanigans, and I'm gonna have to recommend.
You have at least 4 boxes open right
I'm
now.
gonna
Gideon.
have to recommend a great book to you. By the name of Delusions of Gender, which is all about neurosexism.
Hey, I'm just talking about my brain. This is how my
So-
brain works. I got one thing that I'm focusing on.
Okay, so as a
Don't
player,
ask me to focus on anything else, 'cause I don't have it.
as a player and as an actor, I genuinely I was like, what do I talk to this person about? And so
That was a fun outtake.
I did stream of consciousness in that I stopped thinking and just anything that popped into my head came out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Which was great
What
for
was
Detect
awesome.
Thoughts.
It was great improv.
Because that's exactly how Detect Thoughts is supposed to work, is you
Yeah.
get
So-
a creature's surface thoughts.
But then that's how we get to this conversation that you and I had about like how Poppy's feeling about like her identity and stuff like that. And we had a very deep conversation. And it may come up, it may not come up. But it was just this idea of, and again, I was just letting her ramble on about things because Gideon told her to go talk to Seraphina. So she's just gonna talk Seraphina's ear off. And so Poppy, and then as Ash was talking to me about it, I was like, oh, okay, this actually makes a lot of sense. She's been spending a lot of time as animals. She's been, since hanging out with these guys, she's had a lot of, like, problems with her size, and I don't know if she was feeling that way before kind of she was, like, when she was...
when you were with your family, all of your family is mostly
same
halflings.
size,
Exactly.
yeah.
So you would have grown up in a world that was built for you.
for me. And now there's all these big chairs and people aren't pulling my chairs out for me. So I have to like pull this like very heavy chair out and climb into it and
Gotta do everything myself.
So-
I can't be
In
a
a
mean.
chair.
I can't be a mean bad guy if I'm like being sensitive to your height discrepancies.
so I
It's good play. It's good role play.
so yeah, it made sense because Poppy is feeling a lot more comfortable as animals. She's and we talked about it in 64.
6.
No, so like back like 62 even at the fire when I was talking about I'm still a bear. I milked that
that's
4
right.
hours.
Yes.
Which is like something fun that I think I always saw as Kiri the player saying, "Oh, I'm going to stay in here the whole 4 hours. I'm going to milk this whole thing." But it does make an interesting character tweak that Poppy is like, "Oh, like this is I kind of like
Yeah.
this." Like,
Right.
And it
you
also
know.
liked the fact that it got Seraphina's attention too. It's like, oh wait, you can change into, you have a little bit more power than I thought.
Yeah,
but-
that was a uh-oh moment.
So we are
Yeah,
we're
so-
coming close to the end of the 15 minutes here because it's
talk
already
a lot.
been almost 15 minutes.
Oh my
and,
gosh.
So we are all if you're listening to this on your wherever your podcatcher is, there's another 45 minutes. 45 minutes of this. All you got to do is become a patron.
$5
At patreon.com/RedDirtDND. At any level, you get this. Plus, you get access to our show. You also get. Sorry, I'm just trying to
Think about your words, Michael.
I am.
He's in one box.
The problem is I'm in this other
He's
box.
in the Patreon box. He's in the thinking box, not the mouth box.
I was in the past episode box. Now I got to get a new salesman box.
Early access.
Patreon.com/RedDirtDND. You get early access to our show. Plus, at some levels, you also get access to our Discord server, which we've been having a lot of fun there.
I send a lot of memes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
There's possibly some more Patreon stuff on the way. We're working on that right now. So become a member right now. Patreon.com/RedDirtDND to get the next 45 minutes of this. You can become a patron member like
Nightmare.
Yay!
John DeFacili. New Mexico.
Mexico, maybe.
Tim.
Hi, Tim!
Brian Hughes. Derek Rusnick.
Yay!
Germbot.
Yay!
Kimberly Cross.
Hi, Kimberly!
Courtney.
Woo!
David Adams.
David.
Carla Stevenson. Nicholas Rodriguez.
Oh.
Sheila Griffin.
Yay!
Strix.
Yay!
Tim A. The
Other Tim!
And Tina McBride.
Yay! Yay!
Yay. Thank you so much. Join these people because they're going to be able to listen to the rest of this show. We're diving right now into episode 67. Make sure and like and subscribe. Send us out to your friends on social media, Twitter, Facebook. Let everyone know about this podcast. We are growing so fast. We might be able to hit 30,000 downloads by the end of the year. Oh my gosh! But the only way that's going to happen is if we can get this word out. So spread the word right now. Find us at reddirtdnd.com. We've all been wonderful. We look forward to seeing you on the flip side.